Well, folks, good day to you one and all, and great to have you with us in the second year studio. Reynolds Clio Cup, second last round, coming to you from OULTON Park. Look at that, it's going to be brilliant. What a lovely circuit that is, with some iconic corners: Shell's Oil Corner, Britain's Hilltop, Hislop, Knickerbock, Clay Hill, Water Tower, Old Hall Corner, the Avenue. Well, the Avenue is blindingly quick. That's just after turn number one. It's going to be brilliant stuff out there, no doubt about it. Joining me in the studio this evening is going to be the eye in the sky for Killarney International Raceway, and that is Emil Tiny Brunt. Emil, good day to you.
Good day, Gary, and good day, everybody watching this production.
This is going to be good stuff, and we've got an 8-minute quali, we've got two 15-minute races, and the man that you see out there on screen is in fact Johan Fourie in the monster colours. That's the colours he likes to use. Everybody in the Renault Clios. Pity Hubert, another man that's going to be pretty quick out there in the Pennzoil car. And then Chase Herald. Well, Tiny, you know those colours. That's what Chase uses at Killarney International.
Yeah, Gary, that was his color schemes for his race cars, and very, very beautiful in the sunshine, you can see. And yeah, it'll be pretty interesting to see what he's going to do today.
Yep, that's going to be Chase Herald. So we've got Nico Kellerman that's out there as well. I see the Umpi Swart. He's busy warming up the tyres a little bit for that qualifying session. Remember, everybody goes out, does a single lap, and then thereafter it's going to be all systems go as they get into flying laps. Probably around about 1 minute 50 per lap that the guys will be doing. There's Raymond Duggan out on circuit as well. The success story of 2023. Stephen Duplessis also joining us. He's got, he needs a bit of sponsors for that motor car.
Robbie Dings, Gary, as well, doing his stint. We got in 2 minutes and 23 seconds of the 8 minutes qualifying. Got a beautiful Reebok car going over there. Andrew Thomas also joining us as well. Francois Hubert also doing his session. And yeah, I think this is going to be pretty interesting.
There's going to be very little between them, that is for sure. Sandra McCarr is out there as well with the Michelin Man, and well, there's not going to be too long before the top guys are going to come through. So it's around about 1 minute 50, the fastest lap time. So we'll be on around about 3 minutes 40 for the first guys to come through. And there you can see already Willem Botha on his flying lap. You can see that on the right hand side. That's Willem Botha, and he's already 1 minute and 2 seconds into his lap. Johan Fourie, you can see fastest sector for sector 1, sector 2, and a sector 4. As you see Willem Botha working his way through. Let's put a track map up there that we can see exactly what that looks like, and that'll give you a better idea. There is Willem Botha as he works his way through, and the moment that he has completed his lap, it will then come up on the left hand side top corner, and then we'll be able to see who comes out where. So Tiny, we can expect a couple of the guys that was pretty quick in the practice session to come out up tops.
Definitely Johan Fourie is going to be one of the guys doing pretty well today, and Yuri Umbuswat, Chase Herald, and don't forget about Troy Dolenchek. He was pretty quick in the practice session, so it's going to be pretty interesting.
Yep, there is in fact Troy Dolenchek. So Willem Botha, the first man, fall for a split second. He was the fastest man out there. So Johan Fourie puts it provisional pole with just the first lap that he's put in there. Our Pennzoil man, that is Pity Hubert. He's the second fastest at this stage of the fight. Willem Botha puts in his fastest lap, and there's very little. Let's in fact go to the gaps between them. We'll get a better idea of exactly where we are. Oh, look, Lucchese comes into play. He puts himself provisionally on the second row of the grid.
Let's see Troy Dolenchek doing trying to get up to the top 3. I think we can actually see him probably doing a top 3 this evening, but I didn't see any time for Yuri Beswat yet. The looks of things, got the fastest sector time. It's going to be pretty interesting with the two of them, Umpi and Troy.
So Johan Ferry, the fastest man that's out there, you can see that's the number 1 on the right-hand side of your screen. He's coming through. Well, Umpi Swart looks like he's pretty much on his way around to put up a lap time. He doesn't have a lap time up there yet. Let's see what he does. There he goes across the line now. 5 minutes 15 into it. He's done his first flying lap. Should be. No. Oh, yes, there we go. Oh, look at that. 0.004 of a second between the two of them. That is something else. Johan Ferry working his way around. He's not too far from that start-finish line either. Let's see if he can go any quicker, because Umpi, if he's still got another lap in hand, which he does, because that's the first time that he put up, unless he had an off in that first lap and it didn't actually read. Can Johan Ferry go any quicker and ensure that he's going to stay ahead? We're about to find out.
But the Elizabeth in Troy is also doing a quick lap. That is where you can see a quick lap, Gary. 1 minute 50.268, and Troy's on a charge.
Yep, no doubt about it. He is, well, we expected him to be one of the quickest out there, Troy Dolenchik. And, well, he's done it all right. He's got himself provisionally on the front row of the grid. But remember, Umpi Swart is, well, no, he's done his 2 laps already. What about Chase Herald? He's got himself, yep, he's also slowed down. That means he's done his 2 laps. Peter Hubert, well, he is still on his way around the circuit. Let's see how he's going to pan out for that one. But we're 6 minutes 31 already into the session. And, well, anybody that's still going to put up a lap time, they're going to have to go some to be able to get a lap time up now still.
A very tight and twisty circuit, and then I think it's going to be very hard to handle. And, yeah, I think the first lap is going to be chaos. I hope not, but, yeah, it's going to be interesting.
No, it's probably going to be chaos. I think you're 100% correct with that one. I do think it's going to be chaos. So 7 minutes into the 8 minutes, it's Troy Dolenchik that provisionally finds himself on the front row of the grid. Provisionally alongside him, the man in the monster car, that is Johan Ferry. Andrew Thomas, the man from Carbs and Coffee. Yo, how's that for it?
That's a surprise.
Yes, brilliant stuff. Andrew Thomas provisionally on the second row of the grid, and that means he will be alongside. Remember, he's still riding. Umpi Swart has already parked the car in the pits. He's finished his session. He can't go any further. Chase Herald is also standing in the pits. Peter Hubert, is he still out on circuit? Well, yeah, he comes up now. Can Peter Hubert go from the third row of the grid in the Pennzoil car? There's still 20 seconds to go. He will put up a lap time, and is he going any quicker? Well, not bad, a 150.005, but no quicker than what he originally was. So that means he's going to stay there exactly where he is. The Bolt man, Robbie Teams, well, he stops on the track, and that is where the practice comes to an end. Let's have a look at the grid. So there we go, Tiny from the top down. Troy Dolenchik and Johan Ferry on the front row of the grid.
Andrew Thomas, Yuri Umpi Swart, Chase Herald, Willem Botha, Peter Hubert, Luke Lucchese, Francois Hubert, Raymond Duncan, and Robbie Teams.
Yep, behind Robbie Teams is going to be Sandro Bakari, Nico Kellerman, Dino Stamin, Mario Kawaz, Skelk Holden Ace. Oh, the GTI Challenge guru finds himself almost at the back end of the pack. Stephen Duplessis, that's going to round that one off. So let's have a look, see how this one's going to play itself out. Let's get a nice track map up there in the battle box so we can see exactly where we are. So there you can see where the number 2 is on the circuit, and they basically 2 corners away from that rolling start.
Chaos?
Yes. Lots of chaos? Yes. Umpi Swart's right in there as well, so is Chase Herald. Let's see if we can get a blimp shot of that. There they are. Looks like everybody has clicked in already. They're good to go. So that's going to be pretty good stuff. Troy Dolenchik and Johan Ferry. Remember, Troy Dolenchik leading out in the, well, he was last year rookie in the 1600 open wheeler class, the Investchem Formula 1600s. He won the rookie season, and now he is in fact leading the championship and Extreme Festival in 2 weeks' time coming down to Killarney International Raceway.
Did very well in East London, one of the fastest circuits in South Africa, and yeah, going to be very interesting to see as the cars that going to be running
Well, the lights is now going to be on the top of the screen, so you'll be able to see that. But let's get them off the line. And, oh, Chase Herald's busy having a last sip of his coffee. He gets it off the line eventually. Look at that. Very aggressive on the steering there is Troy Dolanchik, trying to get as much temperature in as he possibly can. That's coming up towards the last corner. And, well, from here on out, most anything is going to be possible.
15 minutes of absolute chaos and carnage. Let's hope not.
I doubt it's impossible that it's not going to happen. There's going to be carnage. I very, very, very much doubt that it's going to be anything other than that. Right, here we go. So the front row, Troy Dolanchik and Johan Fourie from Andrew Thomas and Oompie Swart. Up towards the line they come. And away they go. It's Troy Dolanchik that gets the jump. It is Johan Fourie on the outside. And, oh, Andrew Thomas. Andrew Thomas is ahead of Oompie Swart. Andrew Thomas up on the inside of Johan Fourie. Wow, can you believe it? That was a... Oh, Chase Herald's been taken out, and Johan Fourie has gone with that as well. That brings Pieter Joubert up into that second position. And, oh, there was also Willem that went out there. Skalk Geldenhuys that started a long way down, finds himself up into third position. Behind Pieter Joubert, behind that is Raymond Duggan. Then the Best Water Technologies car of Dino Stamin. Behind that, the Heersenveld 304 of Francois Joubert, Mario Kawors. The next man that's in there from Robbie Teens. There they Linus Stern, Sandro Bakari, Stephen Duplessis, Nico Kellerman. And let's go back to the front end of the field. Remember that guy?
Yes.
That
he stayed out of the trouble.
Yep, that be the one. That is Troy Dolanchik, stayed out of the trouble. Pieter Joubert, the next man in the Pennzoil car that comes through behind him. Pieter Joubert also staying out of the trouble. And then the Iron Brew car, that is Raymond Duggan. There you see him come at the top of the hill. The Best Water Technologies of Dino Stamin from Skalk Geldenhuys. Then they racked, packed and stacked. It's Francois Joubert. It's Mario Kawors as they go into the corner. Side by side, Robbie Teens, and alongside him is Sandro Bakari. Behind Sandro Bakari is Stephen Duplessis. He's got the no stickers on that car. Then it's Nico Kellerman is the next man that's in there behind him. And while they duking it out, Mario Kawors is in one hell of a fight.
Gary, unfortunately, Johan Fourie, Yuri Swart, Chase Herald and Willem Botha was involved in their first Lavik altercation.
Yep, and they are in fact all showing in the pits. I think they probably feel it doesn't help that they come out, because at the end of the day they're going to be too far back to be able to actually do anything whatsoever. Another man that's in a close battle there is Stephen. Oh, Pieter Joubert in the pits. Pieter Joubert has come into the pits. That's amazing stuff. There must have been some other damage on that motor car. That opens it up for Troy Dolanchik. Troy Dolanchik on the move. The next man through behind him, 6 seconds further back in the Iron Brew car. That be Raymond Duggan. There's Skalk Geldenhuys. That's the orange and white. And, well, Skalk Geldenhuys came from a long way back, and he was the man that made the most of that one. In there behind him, Francois Joubert, and he's doing pretty well. Dino Stamin just past Sandro Bakari.
Yeah, Gary, Skalk Geldenhuys actually started from the back of the grid. It was second loss on the grid, and when he saw all the carnage happening in front of him, he just used evasive action, and yeah, he just sees Skalk Geldenhuys in third position.
Yep, brilliant stuff. Look at all the cars. Well, Pieter Joubert coming back out of the pits. The battle that we're looking at there, that is the white car of Stephen Duplessis. In front of him, the Best Water Technologies of Dino Stamin. And then in there behind that is Nico Kellerman. Let's go back to the front end of the field. Troy Dolanchik, he's driven into Tuesday morning already. Look at that. Troy Dolanchik, he works his way up the hill, 8 seconds ahead of the first of the rest of the contenders. Skalk Geldenhuys from Raymond Duggan, from Francois Joubert. Then behind Francois Joubert, there is Mario Kawors on his way up the hill. 2 seconds further back, you can see a bit of a bigger gap, but Robbie Teens has got them racked, packed and stacked behind him.
I see that Andrew Thomas has also gone into the pits as well for some repairs, and by the looks of things, that your front runners who were supposed to be in the front, which were right at the back, is back on circuit again.
Oof, how's that for off track and getting it all back together again? Dinas Tamin that passed Sandra Bakari was Skull Caldenace that went off the circuit. Let's have a look how that one played out. He just climbed the curbstone a little bit too early, got himself onto the grass and got it back together again. So that was about as marginal as it gets. Let's go back to the front end of the field. We are 4 minutes and 10 seconds into 15 minutes of racing. That is your lead car, the John Player Special of Troy Dolenchik. Here comes Skull Caldenace, Raymond Duggan, Francois Hubert. Francois Hubert is busy closing up. That's Francois Hubert on board. That's what 0.1 of a second looks like. Now they're going to go into the left-hander. Just a little lift, just a slight lift. Run it all the way towards the outside. Bring it back towards the left-hand side. Go 2 gears down. Use the top end of the banking. Drop down onto the apex of the corner. Use everything you've got now. Just after this is where you get to that horrible little left right, and it's very difficult to time this one correctly. Those two tiles are the piles of tires that are there, makes it very difficult. Over the blind rise you go now. It's just flat foot, 0.6 of a second between Francois Hubert and Raymond Duggan, and then 0.8 between Raymond Duggan and Skull Caldenace. Once again that pile of tires, a sharp right, a sharp left. Now you've just feathered it lightly as you come through here. Use the curbstone, use the outside curbstone, and off you go up the hill. That's what it looks like. But let's go on board with Dino Stamin as he sits behind Nico Kellerman, and in front of that Stephen Duplessis and Sandra Bakari.
Gary, Troy is disappearing in the distance at the moment. He actually put the fastest time of a 1 minute 50.2, and yeah, 9.2 seconds ahead there of Skull Caldenace. It's going to be 10-12 seconds pretty soon.
He's on his way to work already tomorrow morning while the other guys are busy fighting it out. Look at this in front of Dino Stamin, Nico Kellerman, and Nico Kellerman runs wide with the Red Bull car. Oh, Dino Stamin backed out of it to make sure that he didn't make contact. Now, if he gets onto that right-hand side, you'll have the inside line going into turn number 1. There's the pits on your right-hand side. Nope, he just doesn't have enough umph to get through there. So, well, he almost had the opportunity to make a plan. Let's go back to Raymond Duggan.
He's doing it pretty well, staying out of the trouble, and yeah, definitely doing all the right things at the moment.
Stephen Duplessis in that 8th position. Stephen Duplessis all over the back end there of Sandra Bakari. Look at that. Oh, just climbs the curbstone all the way through there now into that right-hander. Remember, after this is going to be that left and right-hand complex that you've got to time very neatly. The pace going in is one thing, but the important thing is the pace coming out. There you can see the two cars in front of that being the Robbie Teens and Mario Kawars. That's the next two, but another fighter just behind that, and that is the recovering Luke Lucchese onto the back of the Best Water Technology car of Dino Stamin.
Gary, I wonder, there should probably be a pole invert for race number 2.
I think so, yes, but I'm not 100% sure what percentage of the grid gets inverted. I speak under correction, it might be top 10 that gets inverted. Now that's what the underneath of a Renault Clio racing car looks like. And look at that, look easy. He goes for that, what was the outside line. Now he's all the way around the outside. Can he, oopsie, that's a bit of a not so nice move.
Hello, how are you?
Yeah, just checking. Let's go back to that guy up front as we are 7 minutes 43 into this race, just past halfway. Don't forget about that guy. His name is Troy Dolenchik. He's 9.7 seconds away from the next car coming through there. That be Skull Caldenace. But Skull Caldenace has done a brilliant job. At the end of the day, he's kept out Francois Hubert in the Heersenveld Renault Clio Cup car, who in turn 1.3 ahead of Raymond Duggan. Just a little bit further back, coming in the bottom of your picture, that is Mario Kawars, the Boltman, Robbie Teen, Sandra Bakari, is just trying to break the toe between himself and Stephen Duplessis. That's the white one without any stickers on it. And then just behind that, Luke Lucchese having gotten past Dino Stamin, although Dino tried his best to, and did, ride him off onto the grass.
See, Francois Hubert is closing that gap between himself and Skull Caldenace, and I must say, Skull is coming of age. He's been doing pretty well at GTA Challenge as well, and yeah, definitely a bright future for him, for this young man.
Well, Scott Keltness, for some other reason, the computer didn't give us his time, a 51.5 by Francois Joubert on the last lap. And oh, Johan Ferry just puts up the fastest lap of everybody, a 149.995. But look at the time of Troy Drolenchik, a 150.782 on his last lap. So, well, he's putting up some brilliant lap times. There's no doubt about it. Let's have a look at who has been into the pits. For those damages that they had. There you can see all the guys at the back end of the pack. Pieter Joubert, Chase Herald, Umpi Swart, Johan Ferry, Willem Botha and Andrew Thomas. All of them that were forced to go into the pits because of damage. And there's another man that's gone into pits, and that in fact is Schalk Geldenhuys. Why? I'm very surprised. Unless there is one compulsory stop that has to be done by everybody, that is possible. I'm not aware of it, but I suppose it can be the case. Well, we're going to find out in the not too distant future how that one plays itself out. So Nico Kellerman pretty close to the back of Dino Stamin, and Dino Stamin losing out on the frequent flyer Luc Lekizi. Look at the gap now between Luc Lekizi and Dino Stamin. It's literally 5 seconds that I think Stamin must have just had a off circuit. Let's have a look at that, because he dropped back with the best water technologies quite. Oh yeah, oh, up against the wall. And Dino Stamin puts it back on track and is about to get passed by the Red Bull car. And that's where he dropped down one position, unfortunately for him. So Troy Dolenchik in the John Player special car leads them out. Oh, he's driven in. He's busy with tomorrow's race already. There's Francois Joubert, 11 seconds further back. It's just a different world. And I mean, Troy Dolenchik, well, Tiny, you've watched his racing since he was a Tiki and a Peapod High. And, well, he's going on to bigger things.
Well, definitely from karting into where he is now at the moment, doing very, very well. I must say, Raymond Duggan, this is probably the best I've seen in iRacing for him. I don't know if he has any other better positions, but doing a very, very good job there in third place.
Yep, no doubt about it. And, well, there's not that much time left at all for all the guys out there. And we're already into 11 minutes 20 in this race. Troy Dolenchik, that leads out very, very neatly. We'll see how the invert is going to work. Probably going to drop him down to 10th position. Francois Joubert, 11 seconds further back. Not that far behind him, but a safe gap that he's got at this stage of the fight from that man, Raymond Duggan. Raymond Duggan also with a decent space between himself and Mario Kawaz. There comes Mario. Not that far behind Mario, the Bolt man, Robbie Teings. But can he stay ahead of that guy? Because look at that. He's passed Sandro Macari already. Let's have a look at the last lap times that they've just put up. Let's see what Luc Lekizi is doing. A 151.0, a 151.9. 8 tenths of a second that he is quicker than Robbie Teings. But there's only 3 more minutes to go, which is like a lap and a half. So if Robbie Teings can keep up the pace that he's on now, and the man that you see in picture there can't go any quicker, Luc Lekizi, he might be able to go a bit quicker, keeping in mind that he just passed Sandro Macari on the last lap. Oh, cutting those curbstones desperately, trying to catch up. And let's have a look on board what it looks like from his car. If we have a look at the roll bar, that's what he's chasing in front of him. That's what he's got to close down. That's Robbie Teings and Mario Kawaz. If he can get to them, he might even be able to make up 2 positions. It's not completely impossible to make up those 2 positions. He uses the curbstones and more. 12 minutes 55. We're down to just on 3 minutes. Can Luc Lekizi take more than 9 tenths of a second out of the Robbie Teings car in front of him? I think so. If you look at it, look on the right hand side of the screen, 2.2 is the gap between himself and Robbie Teings. And, well, he's closed that down to 1.8. Oh, he got good drive onto the straight. That's the last corner that he's going through now. Back up to 2.18. Robbie Teings is holding sway. Let's have a look at the last lap times as they go across the line. A 51, a 52, a 52. Robbie Teings, a 52.6. A 51.1 seconds. Luke Lucchese takes out of Robbie Teens.
It's going to have to do 2 flying laps to try and get up to the guys, Gary.
Well, with a bit of luck on 13:40, I don't know if they're going to have another lap. Let's see, where's Troy Dolanchik? That is the number 1 that's on your screen. I don't believe that he is going to get to the start-finish line before that 15 minutes is up, so there might be an additional lap that they're going to have to do from there. Let's just ride on board with Troy Dolanchik as he works his way through the complex. Oh, he's just so smooth, and he's not going to pick up any traffic. 15 seconds further up the road is Andrew Thomas, and then another, literally a second further ahead of that is then Willem Botha. Francois Joubert, you can see, is 12.3 behind him.
Gary, by the look of things, Luke Lucchese made a mistake somewhere.
Well, Luke Lucchese's actually gone into the pits.
Yeah, he must have made a mistake somewhere.
Yeah, something must have gone wrong. Oh, Luke Lucchese did have a crash. Luke Lucchese did have a crash, and well, we'll get to that one before this race comes to an end. It's going to be all about Troy Dolanchik. Troy Dolanchik's going to take, is he going to take one more lap? Yes, he's going to. So that gives us an opportunity to have a look at what happened to Luke Lucchese. It actually showed 3 different incidents for him. So you'll probably find that he hit the tires. Yep, he hit the tires. Oh, no wonder. And yeah, well, that's the end of that idea. That is for sure. He then tried to drive the car further. You can see the front suspension is completely gone. So well spotted there, Tiny. That is the end of that. There's no ways he's going to go any further. So let's enjoy the last lap. We are 15 minutes and 30 seconds in. The John Player Special and Olympus sponsored car of Troy Dolanchik on his final lap.
Dominant. That's all I can say, Gary. 12.8, 12.9 seconds, 13. Yeah, it's going to be difficult to do this again in race 2, depending on how the reverse grid looks like.
Yeah, that's the other thing. I think it's going to be the top 10 probably that's going to be the reverse grid. Keep an eye on that red number 1 at the bottom of your screen going through Knickerbock up towards Clay Hill Water Tower. And then where you see the 14 car, that's Druitt's Corner that he's going to work his way through as we watch Robbie Teens on the back of Mario Kawaz. But I think it's only right that we go back to the leader. Here he comes, and that's going through Druitt's Corner. Now he'll take that fairly long straight all the way up to Lodge. And then he'll be just about finished with this race, will Troy Dolanchik, as we will follow him as he goes across the line.
A very dominant race by Troy Dolanchik as he passes the start-finish line, commanding a win there by almost 13 seconds.
Next man to come through will be Francois Joubert. Wow, as you say, almost 13 seconds, 12.8 as he comes across the line. The next man through will be Raymond Duggan.
Then as Raymond finishes his race, we got Mario Kawaz. Robbie Teens will be following suit as well. Stephen Duplessis, Nico Kalaman, Sandra Bakari, Peter Joubert, Dino Sturman finishing and running off your top 10.
Oh, Stephen Duplessis, I think you'll be fairly happy, although it was a fair amount of distance. Oh, on the last, here we go, Sandra Bakari with the Michelin man on the side of that motor car. Can he make that one stick? Can he turn it in tight enough? Yes, he does. I think he's got it. I think he's got it. Sandra Bakari will take it across the line just ahead of Nico Kalaman. And that with 2 corners to go, that he made that one stick. Pitiume in the Benzo car, nowhere where he wanted to be whatsoever. And then Dinos Dominion, the Best Water Technologies, a man that does karting and apart from the iRacing as well. Chase Herald that had to do the pit stop, and then in there, oh, look at that, the 3 big hitters coming through together. Chase Herald, Umpi Swart and Johan Ferry, and they were all involved with that initial incident that put all of them into the pits as Umpi Swart. There's lots of fun out there. Next one coming through will be Willem Botha, also one of the people in the Pepsi car that had to go into the pits. From Andrew Thomas, who was also in the pits. And then the last man through there is Luke Lucchese. Well, they fixed that car pretty quickly. So that is the end of race number 1. That was pretty interesting stuff, I must say. Let's see, are they going to have a little warm-up session, or are they going to go straight into race number 2? Looks like everybody is going directly back into the pit area. We wait to see what comes up. Oh, they're going to have a warm-up session. So there is a 5-minute warm-up session. So that's going to be pretty interesting. Willem Botha, Chase Herald, and Umpi Swart, they've all come back on track. So let's see if we can pick them up on circuit. Andrew Thomas, he wants to get a bit of practice in as well. He says, I haven't had enough of this. Give me just a little bit more. Robbie Teens goes out onto the track as well. So we're going to take a little bit of a breather. We'll keep you going with some shots of the guys that's out there with the practice. And as soon as the 5-minute warm-up is gone, we'll come back to you with race number 2. Right, so that brings us to the end of the warm-up session. And we wait for the grid to come up. So let's have a look, see what is. Ooh, look at that one. Dino Stomin from Piri Hubert, Nico Kellerman, Sandra Bakari, and Stephen Duplessis that bedeck the front 5 on the grid.
Very interesting grid there, Gary. Dino Stomin, Piri Hubert, Nico Kellerman, Sandra Bakari, Stephen Duplessis, Robbie Teens, Mario Kawads, Remy Duggan. It's going to be interesting stuff.
Then comes the big hitters behind that. Francois Hubert, Troy Dolenchik, Chase Herald, Umpi Swart. And then behind that is Johan Fuhu and Willem Botha, Andrew Thomas and Luke Lukizi. So all of the big hitters are going to be starting off the back of the pack. And, well, yeah, you know what's going to happen then when the fast boys come from behind. That's going to be chaos, probably. Let's see what happens. Let's give you a nice open picture. Let's see how that one's going to play itself out. Got a battle box, and let's put up a track map there as well. So Dino Stomin and Piri Hubert. Now Dino Stomin does online karting. He's very, very good with the online karting, and this is one of his other loves that he does.
All over them.
Right, here we go towards the start of the race. The pace car is there. Piri Hubert and Dino Stomin on the front row of the grid. Sandra Bakari and Nico Kellerman, Robbie Teens and Troy Dolenchik. Oh, Troy Dolenchik, Umpi Swart, Chase Herald, Johan Fourie. Those guys are going to be coming through at a pace. Expect Piri Hubert to probably be pretty quick going down to turn number 1. Wouldn't be surprised at all if he maybe gets the whole shot, but Dino is no slouch either. Sandra Bakari and Nico Kellerman, they had a lovely dice early on. The green lights go on and away we go. We go racing down towards turn number 1 into Old Hall Corner. They're going to go. Is it going to be Piri Hubert or is it going to be Dino Stomin? Dino Stomin goes in with the Sport Technologies car. In there behind him is Piri Hubert, comes up on the inside line. They side by side as they work their way. Oh, it's going to be on the inside line now. It's going to be Stomin. And he has to back out of that one to make sure they don't make any contact.
Gary, there was definitely some contact there with the guys in the background there. I don't know if you can go.
Look at that. Oh, you bet, all the way onto the grass. And he manages to make that one stick. What a massive pack of cars that is. It's Chase Herald. It is Troy Dolenchik just in front of him. It's Skull Caldenace. And then behind Skull Caldenace is Andrew Thomas. Andrew Thomas has a look up on that inside line. Willem Botha leads that pack of cars out. Willem Botha from Troy Dolenchik. Chase Herald right in the middle. You can see the black and blue colors with CHR Chase Herald Racing on the side of that car. Piri Hubert, you see him going up over the top of the hill, and there he comes towards us now. That's Piri Hubert, Dino Stomin in the Best Water Technologies. Then it is Sandra Bakari, the Pepsi car that was coming up behind that. That is Nico Kellerman and Willem Botha. Then it's Chase Herald. Chase Herald works his way through. He's got Skull Caldenace. You see the Caldenace outfit is in the middle of the pack, and who is in the pits at the moment? Mario Kawas, Umpi Swartz in the pits, and Raymond Duggan as well. Nothing much between all of them as they work their way through. Luke Lukizi hasn't managed to get through the pack yet. He finds himself just behind Johan Fourie, and well, you'd expect the two of them to start walking their way one by one through the pack. Up on the inside goes Luke Lukizi on Johan Fourie. Johan will give him decent space. They will not make contact with one another, and he makes up one position just a little bit further forward. Skull Caldenace, oh, bang, into the wall he goes, and that is Piri Hubert that has been taken out, and unfortunately I don't believe that car's going to go much further whatsoever. And also going off onto the outfield and getting it all back together again, the Red Bull car. So it's utter chaos, mayhem, everything you thought it could be. Let's go back to where the sanity is in this field. It's Piri Hubert. Not that far behind him, just 2 seconds, is Dino Stomin. Well driven by Sandro Bakari, but the first of the big hitters is coming. It's Troy Dolenchik. Troy Dolenchik in the John Player special car. Somebody just went off behind Troy Dolenchik. I think it could have been Andrew Thomas.
Gary, if there's any type of track limits, I must say there was some seriously cutting track there on the lawn and everything else. I don't know if there's any warnings, anything for track limits, but I think that's gone completely out of the window.
Well, yeah, there should be, but the way I think this one's set up is pretty much to, oh, look at that, Troy Dolanchik. They go side by side. Troy Dolanchik goes past Sandro Bakari, so he makes up yet another position. Luke Lukizi is closing now on the back of Francois Joubert. Look at that. That's the red car in behind the black car. Francois Joubert always goes for the black or black and white. That's his favorite colors. Let's then go on board, in fact, with Luke Lukizi.
A very tight and twisty circuit here, Gary, and I must say, you see there, no track limits. We didn't see anything at all. As the a little bit of rubbing is racing there. In
somebody forgot to tell him that the track actually ends there. Bang into the back of the Jessenfeld car goes Luke Lukizi. Francois Joubert on the inside line. Petty Joubert has just put up the fastest lap of 150.633. Remember, Luke Lukizi did put up a quicker time than that in the first race. Nice and smooth through the corner he goes, loses out a little bit on that one. Francois Joubert got better drive out of the corner. Dino Stamin has just been passed by Troy Dolanchik. Let's see if we can pick up that passing maneuver, but I think that would have been a very, very close one. Best Water Technologies on your right-hand side as Dino Stamin climbs a curbstone. Troy Dolanchik pops up on that inside line, and that is where he took that position away and made it all his own. Willem Botha, Chase Herald and Ompie Swart all in the pits, and looks like Skull Keldenace has just passed Andrew Thomas. Let's have a look at that one. Where did he get that all together? Skull Keldenace, oh, it made that look so easy.
Very, very nice move there.
The GTI man just puts it up on the inside line.
Very nice move there from Skull Keldenace there. They're showing his true potential there. You see Dino Stamin trying to make his way up there to Troy, but I think Troy has definitely got muscle lock there on Peter Joubert.
I think that Troy is going to get away from Dino at this stage of the fight. But look at that. Look at the red car in the back end of that group. That is Luke Lukizi. He's just 2 seconds, well, 0.2 of a second is Luke Lukizi from the back of Francois Joubert, and he's just closing all the time.
I see, Gary, I think Johan Verrier was working with a plan. I think he was to try and stick with Luke Lukizi. Maybe the two of them can work together and try and work their way up the grid. And as you can see, I think Johan is just about 0.2 seconds is behind Luke. So maybe there's a little bit of teamwork going on there that the older guys can try and catch up to these lighties.
You think working together? I think Johan Verrier is trying to get past him. Look how close he is. That badge, that definitely belongs to a Renault. There's no doubt about it. Look, Lukizi, the man on the move right now. Oh, Skull Keldenace onto Sandro Bakari. Skull Keldenace, he takes it, and Sandro Bakari holds on at this stage of the fight. Skull sitting on that outside line. Who's coming up? It's Andrew Thomas. Andrew Thomas sticks it up. Oh, you can't go 3 abreast over there. Please, guys, just keep it on 2. And look at that. Joubert is being passed now by the red car on the inside, and that is a Luke Lukizi. It couldn't hold much longer, and he just gets worked towards the outside, and that is Sandro Bakari that got dumped out of that group. So Andrew Thomas leads out. That's the man on the right hand side of your screen from Skull Keldenace. Then the next one through there is Luke Lukizi. Johan Verrier, is he still holding on? Yes, he is. Francois Joubert got it together very quickly and holds on to the back of Johan Verrier. Skull Keldenace, race number 2, Tiny, doing a lovely job.
Doing a very, very good job. And another person doing a good job is Peter Joubert. He's actually stretching that lead to Troy there by almost 4 seconds there. And I think it just reaching his brake lines and the corner speed and stuff must be pretty impressive, because it's almost up to 4 seconds now. So I think Troy's got some work to do if he wants to try and catch you, Peter Joubert.
Well, it's half of the race still to go. So the John Player special car just ahead of Lucas Tamin. Then the next of that group's Andrew Thomas in the Racebook SA car, and the man from Carbs and Coffee with Skull Keldenace has a look. That's the white, orange and black car just behind Skull Keldenace is in fact Luke Lukizi. But Skull Keldenace is so close at this stage of the fight. I think he might be on the edge of making the move.
Skalkhout is really stamping his authority into this race number 2 after his Mississippi ahead in race number 1. And Nico Kalimann not doing such a bad job. I think that was his fastest time. He did the 1 minute 52.556. And Stephen Duplessis also trying to close the gap up between the two of them.
Well, Scott Kelden's just closed up to within 0.2 of a second behind Andrew Thomas. Is he going to go for the dive as they go into the right-hander after this? And he closes the line off. He knew that was going to be coming. Closing the line in the Race Driver SA and cheapercars.co.za entry. Schalk Keldenace, we're riding on board with him on that left-hand side. Just ahead of him is Andrew Thomas, the Best Water Technologies car. You see in front of that is, in fact, looks like he actually had a very wide corner there. Troy Dolanchik would be the next man through after that. And then in front of that is Dino Stamin in that second position. And Dino Stamin's gone to the front. Dino Stamin has passed Peter Hubert.
And Troy as well. There must have been an issue there somewhere, because it was the time between Troy and Peter was pretty big, and Dino Stamin had when they passed this, must have been, hey, overshoot the corner.
Well, he just didn't make the corner whatsoever, so that explains that. And yeah, he went past Peter Hubert, but that's not a legal pass whatsoever. Look at this one. Schalk Keldenace sitting in the sandwich. Andrew Thomas of Cobbs and Coffee ahead of him, just behind him the very quick Luke Lucchese. Let's have a look at the last laps that they actually did. Who was the quickest of the guys out there? Luke Lucchese on a 52.0, 52.6 by Schalk, so that means he's closing on the last lap on Schalk Keldenace. And nothing much between him. Well, you see him and Johan Ferry, 700ths of a second. Johan Ferry, as you predicted, following through with Luke Lucchese.
He is a bumperless. That's the word of the day, bumperless.
Is that your word of the day? The bumperless
the
car.
The bumperless car there of Schalk Keldenace. And yeah, this is almost as exciting as a GTI Challenge. Maybe this is just a bit worse.
Very much the same kind of thing. Francois Hubert closing on the back of Johan Ferry. Johan Ferry holding onto the back of Luke Lucchese. Luke Lucchese starting to put the pressure now onto Schalk Keldenace. He was just a couple of tenths quicker. But still, Andrew Thomas is in the game. Can you believe it? Andrew Thomas is in that fourth position. He's got him the rack packed and stacked. He's got Troy Dolanchik with a bit of space between himself and Dino Stamin, and then Peter Hubert that's at the front end of the field. So you'll probably find that Dino Stamin backed off, gave that position back, and now he's just gone to the front of the pack again. Surely he hasn't done an overshoot once again. Yes, he did.
Outbraked himself there a little bit.
Outbraked himself. Sure.
A bit.
I think that should be your word for the day. Outbrake yourself a bit.
A bit.
400 meters sideways, and then you eventually pick up some form of sanity. But it's all about Luke Lucchese. Luke Lucchese with almost 11 minutes done all over the back of Schalk Keldenace, and he goes up on the inside line. Can he make that one stick? Luke Lucchese on Schalk Keldenace. They still side by side. He will be on the right side of the track with Luke Lucchese going into the next corner. Schalk Keldenace does not want to be held up too much, because that's going to bring Johan Ferry into play and onto his back bumper. 11 minutes 20 seconds. Can Luke Lucchese now maybe close on Andrew Thomas? Well, Luke Lucchese's got 1 second that he needs to make up to get onto the back end of Andrew Thomas. But remember this guy, Tiny.
Oh, it's Peter Hubert.
Well, he's
quite nice to see him there. Nice colour scheme there, and spray job. And
he's done a bit of a Troy Dolanchik on this one there. In fact, he's Troy Dolanchik, the man that drove away in heat number 1. Oh, and going completely wide. Look at that, all the way out there on the grass. That was Luke Lucchese. And, well, trying just a little bit too hard. Johan Ferry's got past Schalk Keldenace. Johan Ferry up into that fourth position. Andrew Thomas must be thinking, this is the last man I'm going to see in the mirror behind me.
Must have been an outbreaking move there from Luke. Luke always, I've watched him a couple of times doing iRacing. He gets so close, and then all of a sudden it's, it just runs off like it does there. It's just like, it's just trying way too much.
He just ran in a little bit too deep with that one, unfortunately. And with going in that hard and that deep, he just couldn't hold it all together. So going back to the front end of the field, it's all about that man, Peter Hubert, doing a brilliant job. He's doing a Troy Dolenchik on Troy Dolenchik by driving away at the front end of the pack. Andrew Thomas doing a brilliant job staying ahead of Johan Ferry now. Johan Ferry, that was following as you predicted, through behind Luke Lucchese, with Luke going off, opens the road up for him. Scott Keltnace has held on to within 3/10 of a second, and then Francois Hubert 6/10 behind that. The man that went and cut the grass, Luke Lucchese, there he is. But behind him, the man that did very well in race number 1, the Michelin man, that's Sandra Bakari. Nico Kellerman coming through behind it as they go through under the bridge. And, there's a change-up of positions. Scott Keltnace. And it looks like Johan Ferry has got through on a Skalkelnace.
Troy must have made a mistake somewhere because he's dropped all the way down to 5th position, Gary.
Oh dear, let's see if we can maybe pick up what happened to Troy Dolenchik. That could be connectivity, because nowhere do I see that Troy has gone off the track. I know that Andrew Thomas did get past him. Let's see what happened.
Oh,
that is where he went off, and he was slowed up completely with that one. There Johan Ferry comes through. Scott Keltnace says, have a nice day. I'll just come through there as well. Look at that, Scott Keltnace. And through he goes. Let's go back to the live. So from the top end down, with just 1 minute to go, here he comes through, the lead man. And with 1 minute to go, I think there will be one more lap in it after this one. It's all about that man, Peter Hubert, as he works his way away 6 seconds from the next car. That is Andrew Thomas, Johan Ferry, Schalk Keltnace, Troy Dolenchik. He's going on a one-on-one with Francois Hubert. Troy Dolenchik around the outside, Francois Hubert on the inside line. Troy Dolenchik goes through on Francois Hubert. Then the next man through behind that is the recovering Luc Lucchese. And, from there on out, it's a little bit close. Troy Dolenchik going side by side once again. Troy Dolenchik and Schalk Keltnace. Oh, they just about make contact. And it looks like it's going to... No, Francois Hubert holds on. The perfect comeback. Does Troy Dolenchik... No, he can't do it. Troy Dolenchik couldn't do it. The old hand. Francois Hubert holds on to that one. Where is Peter Hubert? It's going to be seconds. Is that the white flag that's come out? Yes, I do think it's the white flag that's come out. So he's going to be on his last lap. It was literally within comma odds of a second that he had to go and then do another lap. There is the rest of the pack coming through. Andrew Thomas has got to be the driver of the day.
Gary, yes, but I'm going to make a prediction over here. Schalk Keltnace is going to try and make a lunge on Johan Ferry. I just got this funny feeling he's going to try.
Wow.
He's stayed like by 0.2 of a second there. Johan just pulled a little bit of a gap there, but I think Schalk's going to try and make a move.
Well, he's been riding a little bit too close. Look at the chips on the windscreen. That's from the stones that's been thrown up from Johan Ferry.
And a missing bumper.
If he's going to make a dive, it's going to have to be pretty soon. Andrew Thomas, the man just in front of that. Oh, he is very, very... Oh, what a save! You can see that's a GTI challenge. Why?
I think it could be Luke Lucchese right behind Schalk there and just giving pressure.
Wow, that was something else as we ride on board. But let's go back to Peter Hubert. That's the man that's leading them out. The 15 minutes is up. The Pennzoil entry. Peter Hubert leads them very handsomely, doing a Troy Dolenchik on the rest of the pack. You can see was Andrew Thomas was the next car that was going to come through. There's Andrew Thomas. Johan Ferry has closed on Andrew Thomas, but I do believe that he has done enough. And coming up towards the last corner, Peter Hubert, he'll be super chuffed with this one. We lost out on Dino Stamine, Chase Harold, Mario Wars, Umpi Swart, and Raymond Duggan. And, they didn't manage to get any further. Checkered flag as he comes up the hill for the last time. And it'll be all about Peter Hubert.
A dominant race there from Peter Hubert, from Andrew Thomas and Johan Ferry. Schalk Keltnace, my driver of the day there, Gary. Francois Hubert, Troy Dolenchik, Luc Lucchese getting it all wrong there as well in the final sections of the race. Sandra Bakari coming to the line as well. Not a bad session there for him. Nico Kellerman coming through as well. Robbie Teens. and Stephen Du Plessis also on the way to come and complete his race.
Next man through there will be Willem Botha. And that is the last man to come across the line and finish off that one. So 2 races that's come and gone. Wow, that was... you can't believe that it's all happened so quickly. It's quite amazing stuff. So let's have a look at that feature race. Let's have a look at those results. Pieter Joubert from Andrew Thomas, Johan Fourie, Schalk Keldenace and Francois Joubert, the top 5.
Troy Dolenchek there from Luke Lucchesi, Sander Bakari, Nico Kellerman, Robbie Teen, Stephen Du Plessis and Willem Botha.
Well, then the guys that dropped out and didn't complete it, Dinas Termin, Chase Herald, Umpi Swart, Mario Kowals and Raymond Duggan. Your driver for... Okay, let's just go to heat number 1 quickly. Let's have a look at that one. Heat number 1, your driver of the day choice there?
Okay, I'm going to give it to Raymond Duggan. I think he did a very, very good good event this evening.
And then going to the feature race?
Feature race, I'm going to give it to Andrew Thomas.
I also think Andrew Thomas on that one. That's probably one of his best to date as a whole. It was brilliant stuff. Well, folks, thanks very much for joining us. That was the second last round of the iRacing South Africa Clio Cup 2023, coming to you from OULTON Park. And in 4 weeks from now, we'll bring the last round, the Aller Grande Finale of iRacing South Africa through to you guys. A closing word from your side, Tiny?
Gary, thank you very much for the opportunity. Standing in for Frankie Guinness. And yeah, we'll see you guys in the next couple of weeks. Good night.
Yep, we'll see you at a racetrack pretty soon, some way, sometime, somehow. If you can't get to the racetrack, make a plan to get the live stream and watch it from there. Remember, this week, Saturday, we'll be going to down to Claimplas in Mega. The following Saturday will be Extreme Festival at Killarney International Raceway. And don't forget about the World Rally Cross. They'll be coming to Cape Town in a couple of weeks' time as well. From the Second Year Production Studios down here in a somewhat much warmer Cape Town, good night to you.